All right, everyone, welcome back to the Forza Racing Championship presented by Porsche. Awesome stuff there from Verena and Shannon. And I'm actually going to be making my way to the New York Auto Show on Wednesday with my family, so it should be actually a pretty fun time. And I'm gonna get into some more of the slower cars because
you should get that hair. You saw the effect. Like that would look so good on you.
If I had that hair, imagine what I could accomplish, man. My career could skyrocket. Anyway, seriously though, guys, this is really where it starts to go down, folks, because it is time for the semifinal, our first semifinal, and I'm very excited for it, honestly, because this is we're really going to get a good feel for how this event continues to play out. Most importantly, and we do have to talk about this, the first group is kind of the group of death, man. Like, there's only two groups, and I thought they would be a little bit more balanced out, but nah, that ain't them.
I was a bit sad, actually, seeing people like Johnson in that group. There's so many drivers that are good, but might not overcome Leish or Lightning right away, and then we got both of them in the same group. Yeah. Wow, we're kicking off things with an awesome group, and it will be super hard for anyone else to put his name on this.
It's going to be very difficult. But for now, Ali, I want to toss it over to you, my man, because I want to know more about the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. What do you have for me?
Yeah, here we go, guys. Off to Yas Marina. It's an awesome circuit, all built underneath a beautiful hotel. It's a really good-looking place to be. Difficult place to drive, though. Lots and lots of high curbs, lots of chicanes to negotiate around here. The good side, though, there's a lot of runoff space. So if you're off the track, you can find your way back without necessarily hitting a wall.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ali, for that one. It's going to be. I've done a lot of research on this particular track, and one of the things that a lot of racers actually say is how it's very hard to kind of get something going on the track. You have that one straightaway, but there's some crazy chicanes on here that'll really throw you off. And I even had a chance to run around downstairs in the setup that we had. This is how I do it, and it was definitely. It was definitely difficult, especially with the wheel, because I'm used to a controller in Forza, obviously. But it was certainly very fun to play, though. So a lot of twists and turns.
I mean, the track will be hard for everyone, since normally you got something that leads your view onto a turn.
Yeah.
And Yas Marina got so many open spaces. So you come at the turn and you don't see a wall like guiding you through it. So you need to know what's the next chicane, where to brake, where I get my braking points right, how to decide for an apex, because you can do different lines on some of the chicanes depending on who's in front of you, who's in back of you. Are you defending, attacking, trying to do hot lapping? So that's really, really hard on this track, and you can easily lose overview as soon as you start to fight, because then you're concentrating on who's around me, like being aware of everything.
It's really,
and that might miss the turn.
It becomes so difficult. But of course, we'll get into that action in a little bit. But for now, though, let's actually highlight some of these players here. One individual in particular that you actually happen to be pretty fond of is the one and only Johnson. Why? What is it about this guy? What is it that you just enjoy about this particular driver?
I still think he's one of those guys always creating cool stories. Yeah. I mean, he won two cars
bad guy,
already.
if you will.
He's not a bad guy.
He's the
bad boy. Yeah, that's
there
it. He's there to make sure that even if he doesn't win the event, everyone knows his name, and even if it's just because of me telling everyone about him. But that's fine. Look at him. Look at his smile. You just need to like that, right?
With a name like Johnson.
How
could we forget you? You know what I mean? Anyway, seriously, he's awesome. We'll be seeing him in a little bit. Actually, in this race, as a matter of fact, am I misquoting here?
No, he's in the first race.
He will be in this first race. Apologies there. But now our second guy, this is actually going to be Davey Skills. And very talented, very, very talented driver. He had a solid, third place finish at the Forza Racing Championship Season 2 finals. What about Davey Skills now? Do you feel like he's coming into this one a little bit of a favorite?
I mean, Davey Skills is one of those old school pro players. He's nearly as old as I am, so we come from the same time starting, like esports racing, trying to be on top, and he raced Forza back then already, so he had his highlights already, and now he returned to Forza 6 for the racing championship we got on Season 2, so they brought him out of retirement, like, hey guy, this is your gamepad. Yeah. Do whatever you need to do to win again. And now he's becoming stronger with every week, like getting the flow, making sure he can come up to that level once again. Yeah. And we all know how hard it is coming back from retirement to race on such a level.
Yeah, you see it all the time in other esport titles where people when the game was at one particular state, they'll kind of drift away from it for a little while and say, we'll come back at this at a later date, and then they return. Especially when the money's there, when the competition's the best it's ever been, and it is awesome to see a guy like Davey Skills be able to perform at that level yet again. Now, some other players to highlight here in this one in particular, Anto. Now he. This was something that you were actually really adamant in talking about when we were talking about who we wanted to discuss in the player profiles here. This young man from France over here trying to make a name for himself, plays for BAM Esport as well. Great driver. Again, all the drivers here are fantastic, so you're going to hear me repeat that over and over again. Talk to me about this guy. Besides
Esports Plus Cars, BAM might be the big team next to them. They got great drivers. They got 3 of them in today, this weekend's Invitational. And Anto is one of them who he struggled a bit in Season 2, he struggled a bit in Season 1, but we all know about his huge potential. This guy could make everything happen on the track, but he just needs to have the right mindset, he needs to stay calm, to be aware of everything. He got a bit of problems with bumping in Season 2. I'm pretty sure he's over that right now, hopefully. And yeah, it's just one of those names you should always have on your list, even if he's not winning anything lately. He can do that. He's up for this.
Again, this is truly anyone's race here. And finally, last person to talk about is Crazyator. Crazyator, again, this guy actually comes from JSR, as a matter of fact, Cravyator. I don't know why it's actually written as Crazyator here when I have it written as Cravyator. Anyway, moving forward with my life. Coming from Australia, this guy, he had a long flight here, Renee, and he had that jet lag must be pretty brutal for a lot of these guys as well. I really do want to highlight that because they have had about 2 days to acclimate to the time zone here and get used to things. Do you think that long flight could potentially affect him?
I mean, unfortunately, he's always the guy with the long flights. As long as there's no tournament in Australia, he always has to come over here to either US or Europe to make anything happen for his career in racing. The long flight might affect him a bit, but they had 2 days already, I guess even 3 for Cravyator.
2 or 3 days, depending on when they got here. I mean, keep in mind, right, typically, they would allow time for them to be able to acclimate, but as someone who travels quite a bit, I can tell you, one time I went to Gamescom and I literally I never woke up. So I got there, I slept the whole time, and I had plenty of days.
It's only 6 hours.
Yeah, even though I was coming from California, so jet lag was definitely playing a role there. And I know how it can affect me on camera. I can only imagine how it would affect you when you're in the game. But it seems like he's good to go. So I don't know if this is necessarily going to play much of a role here, and we'll see how it plays out in the race. Really, though, this race is going to be bananas. This is a stacked group here. I mean, Lage, Lightning, Kaiser Wolf, Harmonic, Anto, Johnson, Zermatt, Cravyator, Davey Skills. It doesn't get any better than this, guys. Well, it's time to get into our first race for the semifinals. Let's go ahead and kick it off over to Yas Marina.
So everyone getting ready once again. I mean, some of them have been in the warm-up and the exhibition last man standing race, like Johnson. We saw Cravyator there already. That on your right, that should be Harmonic, if I'm not mistaken, right now on the far right. But sometimes I get this wrong. I'm very sorry for it. Still trying to get used to all of the names. We met the drivers before on the driver briefing. Everyone is super hyped about this. They all came to New York without knowing much about the tournament. It's just for them, hey, this is the weekend. I need to be on my best. Well, I got Venom once again. That's the last place there. So this is 8th position, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 7th for Cravyator. Johnson in 6th.
Anto in 5th.
Yeah.
Harmonic will be in 4th, and then you're going to have Kaiser Wolf in 3. And then, these 2 guys who really have never, every time, they can never seem to get away from each other. Lightning and Lage in the 2nd and in the pole position, respectively. Guys, it is time to go. and this is going to be super exciting. We are green on Abu Dhabi. Let's make this one happen. Renee, this off the break right away. They got to look out for this left turn.
Yeah, Lightning on the inside of Leish already into turn 1, making the move very, very early. Leish for in a position that he's normally not used to, being second there behind Lightning. Happened in Season 2 Grand Finals already. Harmonic right on the 3rd position, while we see a bit of a fight there going on between Kaiserwolf and Antu, both trying to stick to the top guys, the top 3. We talked about that during the exhibition match already. You don't want to lose them early on. Whoa, someone's spinning him out. Who was that in the back?
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe it, but Harmonic was able to get out of that one scot-free, and I have to say, Lage in an uncomfortable position here. Seems like that was Anto and the rest of the guys just got into a bunch over there, and that's really going to set them back in this one.
Look at this. Now we got a group up front and then everyone else in the back. So it's Lightning, Lage, Harmonic in our top group right now. Lightning already on the defensive line. It's Lage still sticking to his best line there, but maybe a bit late on the brakes there. Lightning now. This is a lot of pressure, I'm sure. The first race of the new series, like here for the Invitational, and he's on the first position already. Hopefully that doesn't affect his driving too much. While we see Johnson still calm, Craviator very serious looking onto that screen, but great outfit he brought for today. But what happened here? Does Harmonic have a go on Lage that early on, or will he just wait for them to get away from the pack, making sure everyone's in a comfortable position to score 1, 2, 3, because we know it's the same team and they all want to move on to the grand final, but I'm pretty sure Lage wants that win.
Oh man, I tell you, this is definitely something that I certainly did not expect. I mean, Lage in second place, Harmonic really looking for that chance to be able to get in there. But, you know, again, Lage is just not going to let that one happen. If he doesn't let it happen in first place, why would he let it happen in the second place? But Ali, I want to get your thoughts here, man. What a crazy start to this first race.
Yeah, absolutely. Lightning there, throwing it in from the very beginning of the race. He's going to take that lead. Lage having to settle for second, I think for the first time in this rivalry we've seen between the two guys, and I'm fascinated to see what Harmonic can do a slide there, so I'll throw that back to you guys.
Oh,
Harmonic
my goodness.
just spinning it around all on his own. There was no other contact. He wanted to stick with Lightning. He wanted to be with like the storyline of the whole Forza RC world, and it seems like that was a bit too much for him.
He dropped to 5th, and that is scary. Remember, guys, the top 4 in both of our races, so we have Yas Marina first, and then we're going to follow it up with Brands Hatch Indy as our second race here. And those 2 races, the points will be accumulated, and the top 4 will move on to the final. And for Harmonic, that is a heartbreaker to be able to spin out like that, because all these points, they count so much. You have to be super careful. You can't let anything go wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good start. He was in a comfortable position, like I said, not close to winning this yet. But hey, that's okay. You just want to get the most points out of it. And now he spun around and seeing this, like losing his position in this whole semi-final event. Lage, that's a good position still. The second position, that's enough. Yeah. Lightning on top. Good. I mean, between Lage and Lightning...
They're both comfortable. They're both comfortable in that one and
between Lage and Lightning in the qualifying, it was only 0.2 off a second. So a P-Class car might favor Lightning a bit, so it's not the cars Lage is really favorable on, and he says that a lot, but it seems like Anto can't really catch up to them.
All right, well, let's go ahead and check in with Ali and see what he has over there.
Absolutely, we're here with Davey Skill. It's been a difficult race for him so far. We saw him qualifying a little bit lower down the order than maybe he was looking for. Putting it together now, up in 6th position, but he's definitely has to push forward a little bit further if he wants to get into that qualifying set of drivers. That's the top 4 at the end of these 2 races.
Oh man, I mean, Davey Skills, the pressure is on. He has the potential, you know, as Ali had mentioned there, and we will be sure to keep an eye on him as this race progresses here. But man, I tell you, what a start that we had here. Very exciting turn of events. If you're a fan of Lage especially, you're at the edge of your seat right now because you're like, oh man, did that really happen? It's insane.
Yeah, normally he never sees a car from the back. Yeah. During a race, it doesn't happen that often.
And Lightning is racing, he's just racing some perfect lines here, man. He is not giving him any give whatsoever.
But what's more interesting is that due to Harmonic's mistake, we now have Kaiserwolf on 4th position, and we talked about that during the exhibition match. He's one of those guys that really proven his skill in Season 2. After he got a penalty, he just came back super strong, super clean on the next races. And now in the first race of the official ones here at the New York Invitational, he's really exceeding all expectations.
Yeah, and also too, another note here, I mean, these are the LMP cars, right? So the P-class vehicles, and one person I have to talk about here, because he was on my sites and I wanted him to perform, is Venom. Venom right now rounding out all the way at the back of the pack there in ninth, and I just really did not expect that to be the case, you know? I really thought he would have performed, you know, admirably at the very least, or probably been in that, you know, bubble spot there of the, you know, 4th, 5th, maybe 4th to 6th. Like, just did not expect to see him there all the way at the tail.
Craviator, Davy Skills, we see Davy Skills on 6, Craviator on 7, Johnson on 8. That's still good, managing to get a lot of points. But yeah, seeing the same names again on the top, Lightning, Lage, and not Harmonic anymore.
Man.
Not
Harmonic
I just
anymore.
want to say, I don't want to highlight that every time, but normally during the Forza RC, we didn't saw many mistakes done by just a single person. You know, like there were some problems with bumping, dive bombing. That can always happen. We all know motorsport, rubbing is racing. So things like that can happen. But
to just spin out, like, did he hit a pebble? Like, I don't even...
He will be furious right now. Like, hey, this was all on me. It was only me doing this.
Yeah, it wasn't like that spill that we had earlier, right? And I don't even know, like, it looked like what happened with Anto there, he was like kind of caught in the mix of it, but he was able to get out of that one in the 4th position. But even then, it still was just, it was just insane. But Ali, what do you have over there for Kaiserwolf?
Yeah, watching him put his laps together, I mean, he's sitting right on the bubble right now, 4th place. So this is the kind of finish that he needs to be getting. But a nice big gap, though, he's built up to the 5th place driver behind. So now it's all about consistency for him. Just keep knocking those laps in, keep that line very strong. We're seeing him hook up an apex there through the chicane. Yeah, that's what he needs. He's doing it well.
Yeah, and also another thing to note there, right? In 5th place, right on his, kind of on his tail, is Harmonic. You know, you gotta feel for him, man. We were just talking about him as we went into it. But for Kaiserwolf, I won't sugarcoat it here, right? I think coming into this, we were like, yeah, there are definitely some strong drivers that we got to keep an eye on. And we talked about Kaiserwolf a little bit, you know, coming into this one, had some potential here, you know, all the way from Spain. And now he's in a spot where he could find himself in the grand finals if he continues to race like this. I mean, Lord knows what will happen in Brands Hatch.
I mean, there's a good gap between Harmonic and Kaiserwolf, so I'm pretty sure he's feeling comfortable where he is right now.
Yes.
He's scoring enough points, but it seems like Lightning got off the throttle a bit at least, because the gap decreased the last lap for Lage to get onto Lightning.
Can't give him anything.
I'm pretty sure they won't even go that hard onto each other, because they both want to score points. Lightning wants the points for the grand finals, same for Lage. They just want to make sure that they're in the grand final, not ending up in the last chance qualifier, because let's be honest, last chance qualifier will be crazy. Everyone racing for the last spots.
Yeah, and there's only 4. There's only 4. All the racers go, all the drivers go to the last chance qualifier. And one thing, you know, you'd mentioned it before about Lage gaining. You know, it seems like every turn, every opportunity, he gets a little bit closer. And you know, it seems like Lightning coming into those corners there, he's really just, I don't know, is there a little doubt there? It's a little odd.
I mean, racing on your own on the top position is always a problem, because you can't just stick to someone and get your aggression going, you know, like chasing him down, make sure to stick onto him. And now he's on his own doing hot lapping, more or less. He knows Lage is there somewhere on my back, not yet close enough to make an attack, to show himself in the rearview mirror, but yeah, it's just not enough to do anything, and that might have an impact on him.
Well, Ali, I know you got some info there on Lage. What do you have?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys just talking about Lightning up front there, basically hot lapping at this stage of the race. If you look at the lap times, Lage is currently running 0.8 of a second faster on his clean fast lap than Lightning. So he's putting the time in. At the same time, that gap, you know, it's long at the moment, still 5 car lengths there. You can see it up the road here from Lage. He's got a lot of work to do, but he's definitely finding a way of doing it.
I mean, he could gain on him. There are 3 laps remaining. Well, actually, this one will be coming up close to it a little bit. So 2 laps remaining here in this race. If you're just joining us, folks, this is the Forza Racing Championship. This is the first semi-final here on Yas Marina, Abu Dhabi. Then we will be moving on to Brands Hatch Indy. We will accumulate the points, and the top 4 will move on to the grand final. And then we have a second semifinal coming up here in just a little bit. But for the time being, though, Lage, I mean, Renee, do you see it happening? Do you see the gain happening here in these next 2 laps?
Definitely not. I mean, the gap is big enough for Lightning to just bring this home easily, and Lage is not the guy going for an unnecessary win. For him, it's just about scoring points, going to the grand final. He doesn't need to prove anything.
Yeah.
He is the proven champion. So
That's
for
true.
him, it's just scoring points, making sure he's in the grand final, and then it's a completely different story because we got 3 races for the grand final. It's just not over in 1 race. So I think that's enough for Lage to come back, even if he doesn't win any of the semi-final runs.
And another thing too, we have to talk about Anto as well, right? I mean, like, he managed to find himself in the 3rd position here, over Davies Gills, over Craviator, over Johnson. I mean, that is, you had mentioned it before, right? BAM being that club that, is right next to Esports Plus Cars. And here they have it, a guy who comes out the gate and performs really well.
I'm pretty sure that Anto got a lot of pressure from his teammates. I mean, Seven is with him here, Essex is here as well, and they all have had great results in the past, but in the Forza RC, they never really made a statement.
Yeah.
So, might be the time for them right now.
Yeah, well, Ali, what do you have over there? I know you wanted to talk a little bit about Harmonic, man, because it is definitely a heartbreaker.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough old race here for Harmonic. Definitely one of the fastest guys in this community in these P-Class cars. So hard to see him just underneath that bubble on 5th place at the moment. But he's looking forward towards Kaiser Wolf, who's on the edge of getting into a battle with BAM N2. Now, if those 2 guys get caught up, we could see Harmonic getting in there just before the end of this race. It's definitely one to monitor.
Oh, yeah, you even see it there on the map, right? You see those 2 cars just getting so close to each other, and that has to be scary.
Yeah, I mean, Anto wants to secure his position there, and Kaiser Wolf might be more aggressive, since 3rd place is more points, of course, but they should just think about what happened to Harmonic. You don't want to end up in at the back of the pack.
Do you force it? I mean, there's 2 laps remaining. I mean, do you force it? I don't think you do.
It depends on, in the end, all of them are drivers, like racers. You want to be in front of someone.
I totally
As soon as you stop that mentality, it will be very, very hard for you to win any event.
But remember, though, it's about getting to the grand final, right? Like, of course you want a better position. Everyone does. But okay, maybe I'm trying to play a little bit too safe here. And if you are Kaiser Wolf, you're like, well, I just want to secure this, right? I don't want any doubt at all. I want to be able to go into the next race, 3rd position, and just not look back, right? And go up against Lightning and Lage, because I think we all know that we're going to see them ahead in this upcoming, in this 2nd race here. You know what? I do want to see if we can get eyes, though, on that bubble, because that is going to be the most important one. I want to see what's going on with Kaiser Wolf and Anto, actually. So in the 3rd, 4th position when we get a chance there, because that's going to certainly be the one to keep eyes on. And look at this here, man. They are they're kind of rubbing toes a little bit. I don't know how I feel about this. This is scary, especially with how Harmonic spun out earlier, man.
Yeah, Kaiser Wolf chasing down Anto.
Woo.
Anto on the defensive line already, covering up the inside line every turn here to make sure that Kaiser Wolf can't just dive right into it, but missing the apex a bit. But you saw, that's the problem with the LMP cars. He went over the curbs a bit too much, lost the balance of the car, not enough traction out of the turn, lost some meters onto him, or some feet, however you want to call it.
Yeah,
but
you're in America now, so it's feet.
Sorry for that. But it's Anto getting away just because of that. Kaiser Wolf was a bit too aggressive in that turn.
Yeah.
He should not just dive on the inside.
Oh, man. Ali, thoughts on Kaiser Wolf and his, in his play here?
Yeah, absolutely. Kaiser Wolf losing out a little bit of speed just there in that battle with Anto. But what I thought he was doing really well was throwing the move on every corner, not letting Anto have any rhythm around that track. And that's what it's all about. You need to have the guy up in front being uncomfortable, not wanting you to be there in his mirrors, and eventually he might just well let you go by.
Oh man, and you see it there too. You know, Renee, you mentioned it before, right? The LMP cars, you go over, you get a little bit too aggressive, and you get off of the, you know, onto the curb a little bit, and you pay for that one dearly. And I think, you know, Kaiser Wolf here, you know, going around that hairpin and straight into the straightaway, recognizing maybe there's an opportunity here to take advantage, but I really don't see Anto giving him that chance.
Now that he was not close enough to really make a move.
Yeah,
on that
no,
turn. I mean,
especially not right there, but just in general.
Yeah, he's closing on the braking, but that's not enough. It's lap 8 out of 8, crossing the line now, over. So that's still fine. They scored good points, but I'm pretty sure Kaiser Wolf wanted to get Anto, and he will be furious about that one mistake.
Oh man, this is definitely one that, I mean, look at that there. The way he just gets right up on him. And Anto, you got to give this guy credit for being able to read that one, man. I can only imagine the pressure that he was feeling throughout the duration of this race and the way that he was able to just defend himself on that one. Just very talented stuff there from Anto.
Yeah, was actually wrong with the laps. It is lap out 8 of 8, but that was, of course, for Leish, not for Kaiser Wolf and Anto. So he got another lap of a chance here, while Lightning is under huge pressure of his teammate Leish, then coming onto the straight, but there's no chance for Leish to really make a move. That was the start-finish line. So that was actually the other straight of Yas Marina. I'm totally calling that wrong. I'm so sorry. This track got more than one grid, since it's so huge. And yeah, I just got caught off here.
No, it's okay. You caught me for Crazy Hater, and you catch yourself for
covering up the mistakes.
Well, hey, you know what, man? I have everything here written down, and I looked at something.
Oh, look at Kaiser Wolf here trying to make a move onto Anto, but Anto had to cover up, but running wide on the next turn. That might give a chance here to Kaiser Wolf before the end of the first semi-final, or they finished. Oh, once again doing it on AI. That's one of the best moments I had in the previous season, casting AI, and I love it. Just give me more AI.
The best part about that, I point to the top. And hey,
at least we got the update with the ticker telling me it's over.
That's right, exactly.
Totally ignored. I was so hyped for that fight, totally ignoring the ticker.
I know, right? It's all right, though, because you know what? It was an intense game, and it was awesome. And wow, okay, so we have Lightning coming in second, Lightning coming in first, excuse me.
Whoa.
Sorry. Whoa. Lightning in first, Leish in second, and then Kaiser Wolf, Anto and Kaiser Wolf rounding out that third, fourth. They're looking really good in the points breakdown, though, as we get into this next one. And also, I think I do want to find out, because it seems like, okay, so I was misinformed there, because seemed like there was a Venom car that was in there, but that was just the spare car that was in. So I was just a little thrown off, because I was like, bro, you're like supposed to be a beast with these LMP cars. So
yeah, but Venom is in
we all have brain
too,
fart moments there, man. You know, it's too early, even though it's like 3 p.m.
I just want to ask, like, wait.
You know, it is what it is. Wow, what a great race there. Renee, I want to get your thoughts on that one. I mean, you know, what should we expect moving into Brands Hatch?
First of all, it clearly shows you need an L in your game attack to win anything at Forza RC. Lightning, Leish works. Okay, fine, but Leish had the pole position and was not able to win this, like normally he does. So it proves that, especially in turn 1 and 2, you have the chance to make him pay for all his championships so far.
Yeah.
Lightning did, and then he did a great job in just staying calm, bringing in the best laps. Yeah, Leish was faster later on because he found his rhythm on this P-class car, and we know that they change a lot of cars throughout the weekend. But Lightning just held on to it, and Anto and Kaiser Wolf, third and fourth, I really like that, because those are names we didn't expect. Normally, everyone would be like, it's esports plus cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But now it's BAM, now it's XRS for Kaiser Wolf. So I really love bringing in more teams now on the top positions and having a tighter fight for the grand final spots. So I think we're off for a good start, and I want to see more.
Yeah, not a bad kickoff at all for our first semifinal. But coming up next, though, we're going to have our second semifinal matchup here in the first group. It's going to be awesome. It will be Brands Hatch Indy. But before we get into that, we're going to have a word from our sponsors, and we'll catch you guys in just a few.
This for Richard. I don't need to see him. Tell him it's from Thomas.
Richard? Someone called Thomas dropped this off for you.
Thomas? From the office? Thomas drove 400 miles to drop off this.
438.
Whatever would possess him to do such a thing?